Ooh, have mercy. Our lovely potatoes are getting cut up. We're doing a rough chop with them because these are going for our mashed potatoes tonight. These are red potatoes. I've already peeled them, given them a rough chop. No need to get fancy with this process because we're going to smash them anyway, right? And then what else is going into our mashed potatoes? If you saw my video before with my smothered jackfruit, that was absolutely yummy. I'm going to use the rest of my macadamia milk. I've made quite a few, couple of meals with it already. So I'm going to use the remaining amount of it into this dinner tonight. So along with these lovely mashed potatoes that we're getting ready to make, I'm also going to do some vegan mac and cheese, just to heavy up the plate. I haven't made it in a while, so I thought tonight would be just more comfort food. I do that from time to time, and I like just having that comfort food. It just reminds you of just curling up and just a nice, delicious plate, and it makes you feel so good inside. So we're going to do that, and that's going to be dinner tonight. So once we're done with these, we're going to give them a nice little cold rinse real quick just to make sure we got everything off of there. I guess that's me being a little OCD, but that's just how I do it. I double wash my potatoes. I don't know why I do it, but I do. So after this rough chop, we're going to rinse, and then we're going to put them into our pot for boiling. All right, our water is boiling at a boil temperature. It's ready for these potatoes, so we're going to go ahead and add them in there and let them get to boiling. Nice and hot. Don't want to burn my hand. I usually boil these up until, usually they give off a scent. If you've been cooking for a while, you can smell your potatoes when they're done. But I am going to partly cover them with the lid and let them go ahead and boil, okay? Okay, now for our macaroni and cheese. I'm just using some regular elbows here. I do have gluten-free, but we don't want anything gluten-free tonight. We're doing it straight up. So my water's already boiling. I added some pink sea salt to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour my mac and cheese in. Get that to boiling. The cheese that I'm using tonight, I'm using a combo of cheese for the macaroni and cheese. So I am using Violife, but I am using the cheddar shreds, and then I'm also using the mozzarella shreds for my vegan mac and cheese. So I'm using a combo of both, so it's nice and creamy and delicious. And then of course I'll add just a little bit of flavor into it, and we're gonna add some seasoning. It's gonna be really yummy. Alright guys, so what's mashed potatoes without a little bit of protein? So I've already cut up some red pepper. I'm going to cut up this green pepper and add that in there with some minced garlic. Now, the protein of my choice tonight is my Gardein plant-based meatballs. So I'm going to use these. I'm going to cut them in half, but I can't just do that on its own. I'm actually going to add some veggies to it. So I'm using, these are frozen, Cascadian Farm Hearty blend. Now, I love these veggies when I'm making wraps, but today I'm actually going to put it into my gravy with my plant-based meatballs, and then I'm going to serve that over my mashed potatoes tonight. So that's what we're doing, just to give it a little savory flavor, make it hearty, and then we're getting all our veggies in too. So while my oil is getting hot, I'm going to go ahead and cut up my green pepper now. Got my onion. I'm going to turn off this mac and check on these potatoes to make sure they don't overdo it over here. Alright. Do not want that boiling over. Alright, so we'll cut up our lovely green peppers. I would make this spicy because I got some extra chili peppers in there, but I'm not going to do that. Not tonight. potatoes are cooking up real nice there. Make sure I have my spoon ready. Alright. Yeah, but no chili peppers tonight. We're not gonna have all that heat this evening. So, because I want to work with my meatballs, my veggies are frozen, so I'm going to go ahead and toss them in here as well. Just to get some heat on. Oh, peppers and green peppers and red onion or any onion, just that alone is so aromatic. Like, it just makes you hungry. When you smell them sauteing, they just do something to you. So good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and toss in my garlic. I'm just using a little bit of minced garlic here. I'm not going to get too crazy with it. It's not necessary. But I do want a little bit of that flavor in there. So that's about a teaspoon. I'll toss that in there. All right. And then now I'm moving on to my veggies. I'm going to go ahead and cut those open. This Hearty blend, it has farro in it, broccoli, carrots, and chickpeas, okay? So we're going to drop that right on in there. The goal is tonight is to get that nice and cooked up. And then we're going to do a little gravy with it, so that can be nice and flavorful. So that's what we're going to work towards today, okay? So now, for the plant-based meatballs, this feeds 4 people, okay? This is what they look like. There they are. And I'm going to cut these in halves. I'm not serving them whole, because, you know, I don't want it all both of them, but I do want them to cook real nice in there, right? Okay. So they've sat out for a minute, so let's see how soft they are. I get my knife through them. Look at that. I've done meatball rolls or subs with these. They taste really good. You just get your favorite tomato sauce and hook it up like that, but we're not doing that tonight, obviously. So I'm gonna let the veggies cook down a little bit more before I put these in there. I want those to cook down a little bit. These are partly thawed. They're not all the way thawed, so I don't want them breaking down too much. I'm trying to cook with the veggies, so give them about a few more minutes. By the time I'm done cutting them, then I'll just throw them in there. And then after that, I will show you guys how to make that wonderful vegan mac and cheese. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Alright, so guys, I've added the meatballs into the veggie mixture. I'm adding a little bit of complete. Okay. And I'm also going to add some onion powder. Put that right on in there as well. Of course, you already know what I'm using, so it's not a surprise. And I'm going to just stir that around. Look at this. So good. Now, I am not going to add any more seasoning to this. I'm going to give this time to cook down. So, I'm going to put the lid on and let this cook. Get nice and soft and marinated with all that seasoning we just put in there. I may throw a little bit of basil in there. I'll see. I'm going to wait till after and give it a little taste and then see what's going on over there. In the meantime, our potatoes are boiling. They're not quite there yet, so we're going to give them some more time to cook and soften, and then we'll manage those in just a second here. And then next up, we're going to work on that mac and cheese because the macaroni is done. All right. All right, guys, so I've let this cook down a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and add some mushroom broth to this. Not a whole lot. Just a little under a cup. Like I said, I do want that gravy. And we're going to get that tonight. So that's what we're doing. We're adding a little bit of mushroom broth. See how that simmered? All right, so we're going to, that's about a cup. I'll give it that. And then let that go ahead and cook down, and we're going to get some gravy. Now, if I need to thicken this, I can add a little bit of unbleached flour to it and see how that goes. But we might not need it. We'll go ahead and let everything cook down and see if we need to thicken it. And if we do, that's what we're going to do. All right, guys. So now it's time for our wonderful mac and cheese. So first off, I'm going to add in my Badia cheddar shreds. Okay. So I like to mix. So I'm putting a half a cup of this now. And I'm going to do a half a cup of the mozzarella as well. Now, I season my mac and cheese, so I'll show you what I put in there. Usually I bake this, but this is stovetop today, so we're going to let that get in there because it is hot, so we're going to let this melt down. I'm going to return it back to the stove. Now, this is not the end process, okay? But what I like to do is add my mac and cheese and my seasoning in layers. And if you haven't guessed already, I season everything pretty much the same. Here's a little bit of Badia. Now, the one thing with this, you don't need to get too crazy. So in this is just Badia, onion powder. I'm going to use the rest of this. And pepper. That's all I put in my mac and cheese. When I make it traditionally, there's other little things I put in there. But that's a secret. So we can go in there because we're not making that tonight. So, all right. So let's mix this in. The stovetop, you really don't need a whole lot. Okay, now if you need a little bit more salt or anything like that to your taste, then you can do that. All right, so that's not quite there yet, so we're going to add some more cheese. More cheese, please. All right, so we're going to finish off this. You know, I keep lots of this in my house, so we're not worried about that. Now, if we need to add some more of the mozzarella, then we can do that. Okay, you'll see this starting to get that nice melt to it. When I return it back to the stove, then you'll get a full view of it melting down and getting nice and creamy, okay? So, we're not adding any butter to this. It doesn't need it. I am going to touch it up with just a little bit of this one. All right. I think that's going to do it. Now, if it's a little too thick for you, you can always add a little plant-based milk in here. I keep some on standby just in case. But most times, you won't really need it. As you can see, it's already breaking down. And then I'm going to return this right back to the heat. And put that on melt because we've already cooked this. So it's going to be on low. I'm going to bring y'all over here so you can see my veggies and my plant-based meatballs over here, which is looking so lovely right now. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but my husband's doing yard work outside. You can hear it a little bit, but look at this. Woo. Now, I probably will put a little bit of flour here to thicken this, but we're just going to go ahead and let this cook down some more. Okay. This was happening in the kitchen tonight, y'all. Ooh-wee. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Go ahead and cover that back up. Our potatoes are still cooking. And that's why I put them on when I did, because I wanted to make sure they're almost ready. Almost ready. Yeah, I just cut that in half there. Throw you back in the pot. They're just about ready. So we're going to go ahead and let these cook, finish cooking. We're going to keep an eye on this to see if we need to thicken it. Okay. and turn it back up a little bit, and then we're gonna watch our mac and cheese as the rest of that ooey gooey cheese melts. And we're gonna check back on that here in a few minutes. It should be nice and melted when we come back. All right, guys, so here's my beautiful mac and cheese. It is ready to go. Our veggies are done, and I did not add any flour to this to thicken the gravy, but I will tell you I did add some basil, okay, for some flavor. That was it, and I just sprinkled a little bit in there. Now, our potatoes are done. What we're gonna do is go ahead and drain these. I won't take you with me because I only have 2 hands today. Any other time I have 5, so we're gonna work with our 2 hands and go ahead and drain this water off, and then we're gonna add the rest of our ingredients to our potatoes. All right, so if you remember from the last time I made mashed potatoes, I was calling out to my Auntie Rose to find out where in the world is my potato masher. Because guess what, Auntie Rose, I still don't know where it's at. All right, so we're mashing, see? But because we cook them so soft, we don't have to do a whole lot to them, okay? So we can use our spoon to mash them, and they will be just fine. All right, all right. So we're gonna mash these up. Get them nice and soft. Bring you up a little bit so you can see kind of what I'm doing. See them? Just gonna mash them. That's it. Mash, mash, mash until they're all done. And in the same process, I already turned the heat back on because the next ingredient going in here is our plant-based milk, which is our lovely macadamia milk, okay? And as far as seasoning, I'm gonna add some Himalayan pink salts and black pepper and garlic into here. And then of course, you can't have mashed potatoes without a little bit of vegan butter. So that's what we're putting in here. We want to go too crazy with the salt because that vegan butter has sea salt in it as well. So we're not gonna, you know, get too crazy with the salting of this. So add a little bit for flavor. And then I may circle back around and just put some regular black pepper in here without the seasoning itself, okay? So we got these just about where we want them, okay? Now I hear them sizzling a little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my plant-based butter in here first. Now if you've never used, I wanna say Mayoko's Creamery, this is their vegan butter. It comes in a like bar, so you have to slice off what you want. So I'm cutting off about that much. It is thin, okay? That's all we need for that because we have our milk. I'm gonna add that to it. You got back up my butter. I don't want to get anything on it, okay? If you can hear it, we're gonna add our milk. Now, whatever I don't use, I'll just throw it in something else, another dish that I'm using. We'll see. We might use the rest of it. And then what I meant by not over seasoning, I'll show you exactly what I put in there. That's it. And now I'm going to add just a little bit of black pepper to it on its own, not in the mixed seasoning. Sorry for clearing my throat, guys. I'm still going on with this voice of mine, but we're here. We're doing it. All right, now I did put pepper in there because we like pepper in our mashed potatoes and gravy. All right, so here it is. All right, now remember I didn't get too crazy with the salt in here. So if you need to add a little bit of salt, then you can do that. I'll add a little bit more sea salt by itself, not without that mix, because I want just the salt. All right, so that's that. And sprinkle a little bit of sea salt in there for taste, and a little bit more black pepper. Okay. All right. Let me show you what we're working with. Ooh, nice and steamy. All right, I'm gonna finish mixing this, and then we'll be ready to plate. But you see it. There it is. Nice thick mashed potatoes. Yum, yum, yum. Yum. Ooh. Have mercy.